2. What's the deal? It is your boy, your man, your Royals, the often imitated, never duplicated, the one and only Enrique Prince, also known as Prince the Trucker. As always, thank you so much for clicking today's video and being part of the Royal conversation. Make sure you do hit that like button, hit that hype button, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I must say that all the recent engagement, all the support, we did hit 3K at the beginning of the week, and I'm so grateful for that, and it just continues to grow. There are a lot of people that are engaging down in the comment section, asking questions, and just giving words of positive affirmation, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Let's keep it going, you know what I mean? We're on our way to 4K now, and I am truly, truly grateful just for all of you being here. You understand that though, right? All right, truckers, so today's objective is to try to save you all a whole lot of stress, money, and frustration. You dig what I'm saying? If you are thinking about becoming an over-the-road truck driver, or if you're already in training in CDL school about to graduate, the conversation we're going to have today are some of the things that I wish that someone could have sat me down and ran through A to Z and told me about before I hit the road. Over-the-road truck driving is one of those things that you're not going to learn everything by word of mouth. You really have to be out here to understand the things that go on. A lot of what we're going to discuss is things that recruiters aren't going to talk about or tell you. They just want you in the seat so that you can start making them some money. But a lot of these things you're only going to learn the hard way. And Prince the Trucker is here to give it to you straight. So sit back, relax. We about to get into it. You dig? Alright, truckers, so once again, Prince the Trucker on YouTube, back here with another Royal conversation, and we're going to get straight into the mix, into these bars. I need y'all to understand that some of these talking points we're going to discuss in today's video, you might have heard me speak about in other videos, but my goal was to consolidate somewhat of a more comprehensive video for all the people, again, that are coming fresh out of CDL school, for the ones that are thinking about starting an OTR trucking career at the end of this year going into 2026. It's very important to understand these points that we're going to talk about. It'll make your journey a lot easier, because the fact is a lot of these recruiters and even fellow truckers aren't going to share this information with you, and even if they do, they're things that you're just going to have to learn in the field, right? So the first being is the one that we always talk about, that Prince the Trucker lives by, and that is OTR is definitely a lifestyle and not just a job, right? When you live in that truck, everything changes. You don't just clock out and go home at the end of every shift. You don't get to mentally check out like a normal person who works a 9 to 5 would. The road becomes your whole world, right? You're eating, you're sleeping, working, even when you're relaxing, all revolves around this tiny space, right? The cab of the rig, you dig? And at first, the adjustment is hella real, especially if you've never been or had to deal with something like that. You got to be comfortable with silence, long hours, and quite honestly, being alone with your own thoughts. And sometimes, well, most of the time, being hundreds of miles away from anything that you're familiar with. You know, if you come from a place, you come from a city, I mean, you're going all over, so you're not going to be familiar with the rest of the world, right? What a lot of people also don't realize is that how much of your success depends really on your mindset. And we talk about that a lot here on the channel, right? Your mindset to all of these adaptations is going to be crucial in your success moving forward. You can be a great driver, right? or a great trucker, because that's what we would aim to be. Professional drivers and truckers are two different things in my book. You can drive, but being a trucker embodies the lifestyle. But if you can't handle that lifestyle, it's going to be tough, right? But here's the upside, that if you can, that freedom, that piece of the open highway, that independence, man, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. And once you get used to the lifestyle, like I've told y'all before, it definitely becomes addictive. It is. All right, so here's the second thing, future OTR truck drivers, that you need to understand. And this one might hit a little hard, at least in the beginning. Home time is not going to be guaranteed. A lot of new drivers think, I'll get home every weekend, or I'll be home exactly on this day. But listen, trucking doesn't work like that. Even if you're with a company that gets you home most of the time, they tell you, hey, we can get you home every weekend. And 80% of the time that can happen, and this is in the best case scenario, you got to think of the other things that can occur. Weather can delay you. A breakdown can delay you. Shippers and receivers can straight up ruin your whole schedule because their warehouse workers didn't come in on time. So now you're waiting more time than you had to. Dispatch might need to reroute you because something else happened to another driver. And sometimes you'll be this close to being home, right? You're 100 miles within the crib, and then you get held up on a load for damn near half a day. So, I wish somebody would have told me in the beginning how unpredictable that trucking can really be. You'll miss birthdays, you'll miss gatherings and family events. And trust me, it can get better. Like me, I get home pretty much now whenever I want to. But that comes with time. The main point you need to understand is that when you're starting off and you haven't built a rapport, and again, even when you do things right, you must understand that home time isn't guaranteed. You're not going to make it every single time. It doesn't mean that you can't have a life if you're an OTR trucker. It just means you have to plan for flexibility and not certainty. Everything isn't for certain. You see what I'm saying? And when you do get that home time, you just appreciate it so much more. You dig what I'm saying? Now, this talking point is going to be one of my favorites and might become one of your favorites too once you understand the concept. And that is, the money is good in OTR trucking if you know what you're doing. The money can be very good, but not automatically, not right off the rip, right? When you first come in, a lot of times people will hype up what they're getting paid. Oh, you can make this, and you can make that. But a lot of the time, they're not explaining to you the business side of how they're able to be recipients of that type of compensation. Let me tell you something. You get paid on the miles that you drive, right? But you don't get paid for things like sitting at the shippers in most cases, detention and layovers. The company you work for might have you going all over the place looking for a trailer. You're not doing what I like to call hard miles. You're just skipping around yards trying to find a trailer. Getting stuck in traffic can delay your money. Detours that you might have to take on a route that was planned perfectly due to an accident or construction, right? Weather delays. These are all things that can hinder your money flow. But there's a bright side. To make real money in over-the-road trucking and to counter those things, this is what you've got to learn. You have to learn how to trip plan. Manage your time. You have to learn how to avoid unnecessary downtime. Listen to what I'm saying. Unnecessary downtime. You have to learn how to work your 70-hour clock strategically, right? You also have to learn This is more towards like the owner-operator side, really. But how to avoid burning fuel. When you're the one covering the cost, that can be a big factor in your operation, just burning unnecessary fuel. And the most important thing is how to keep your truck moving as much as possible. The more you're sitting, I'm telling you, you start to feel it after a while. The more you're turning, like we are in this video right here, you see us, we going through the forest, man, that's when you're getting that bread. So you want to keep that truck moving as much as possible within the regulatory and safety guidelines of you operating that truck. Once you understand this part of the game, the pay becomes good. Trust me. Some people it works great for, but it's a skill to be able to make money, not a guarantee. Understand that. It's a skill to be able to make money and not a guarantee. Alright, so now that we got the money talk out the way, let's talk about how living in a truck is a whole adjustment within itself. Nobody's going to be able to share with you. The recruiters can't make you feel how tight this space really feels once you're in. Right? Nobody can really give you the feeling of how loud truck stops are at night when you pull up. Now, granted, there are some peaceful places like where I'm at right now. But you are going to come into some areas where there's a lot of congestion. The breath of street life is everywhere, and all you're trying to do is get a couple hours of sleep. You dig? No one can share with you how showers can be a hit or miss at times. You drive a whole 11-hour shift, you pull into a truck stop, you done had hitting that hot water on your mind all day, wiping your body down with that native sugar cookie, you know what I mean? And there's 20 people ahead of you when you park. Yeah, that hits different. I hope you got some aloe dude wipes in the cab. You feel me? Aside from that, no one can share with you how hard it is to maintain a healthy diet. You know, if you're a gym rat or someone who likes to monitor your diet, it's pretty hard unless you plan properly to go to places that you like to buy grocery. You know, the options that you have out here are pretty limited. You got the Burger Kings and the Wendy's and the Popeye's chicken. And yeah. And another thing is how parking can fill up way earlier than you think at times. You know, depending on the city and the state you're in, you might do a whole shift and it'd be 4, 5 o'clock. So in your mind, you're like, yo, I'm finna pull up, it's finna be plenty of parking. And there is none. So yeah, living in the truck takes a whole adjustment within itself. The first month, you're really learning how to organize your space, how to cook or eat smart, depending on how you run your program, how to stay clean, because that's important too. A lot of these people be dirty out here, I ain't gonna lie to you. How to sleep with engines running all around you. All of the things. But let me tell you this. Once you get your setup right, the right mattress topper type, right? You got your fridge in there, your little storage hacks, your little cleaning routine. That truck becomes your little home. And it's actually comfortable once you get a grasp of it. But the learning curve is real. Alright, so this is another very important talking point that we always bring up here on the channel, and we always will. And that is that your mindset matters just as much, if not more, than your actual driving skills. Before you become a trucker, you are learning how to drive. So what most people don't talk about is that your mindset is more important than your skill initially. Because if you don't have the mindset to learn the skill, it's not going to work. Anyone can learn how to shift gears or back a trailer. That just comes with repetition and practice, right? That's what you go to school for. That's what you're on the job for, to learn the actual skill set. But the mindset to be a trucker is what is going to take you to the next level. Practice improves your skill, but the mindset is what's going to carry you. Can you stay calm when there's a delay for 8 hours? Can you handle a breakdown in the middle of nowhere? Can you stay patient at a crowded truck stop when you're in a major city like Texas or Atlanta or St. Louis? Can you push through that last 100 miles to get to where you need to get to when you're tired, frustrated, or even homesick? That's where the mindset comes in. OTR is going to test your patience, discipline, and mental strength. And if you can keep your head right, I promise you, everything else is going to come easy. You dig? All right, truckers. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is really another major point that's going to dictate how everything goes for you out here when you are over the road. And that is your ability to trip plan. Managing your time to the T, even considering all of the things that you can't control that we mentioned previously. The way that you trip plan and see things before they happen is going to determine and decide your whole week. It's going to determine your miles, the sleep you get when you're done with your shift, the stress levels that you have to deal with, and most importantly, your paycheck. When you're bad at trip planning, that's going to lead to you not being able to find parking. You're going to run out of hours, right? You're going to get stuck in the mountains somewhere because you don't know how to navigate, plan your trip. You're going to be sitting through inclement weather conditions that you really don't have to be sitting through. You're going to be late to a lot of your deliveries, and you're going to put yourself in position to miss opportunities to take more loads for your company. But what about if you're good at trip planning? Let me tell y'all, I promise you, it's like having a superpower within this game. You need to learn how to use your GPS, your Rand McNally Road Atlas map, certain apps like Trucker Path, your weather apps on your phone, Google Maps, to be able to see certain things. Not necessarily truck routes, because they'll lead you off route. I have about 3 GPSs in my truck. I have a Rand McNally, I have a Garmin, and I use Google Maps all in tandem, and I usually get where I need to go. Company routing can help you with these things, and fuel network maps as well. Here's the point though, when you plan ahead, you work smarter and not harder. So another point we're going to talk about, which is something that we go over quite often here on the channel, is that trucking will definitely change you, right? Even if it's unintentional, you're going to go through things out here that are going to structure you in a way that I always relate to the military, right? You can come into it one way, but there's just going to be certain things that happen that get you to sharpen your aspect on how you carry yourself in your everyday life. And in my opinion, again, very important for people coming out of CDL school is to understand that over-the-road trucking is definitely going to teach you patience. All right? It's definitely going to teach you to be more independent within yourself. It's going to sharpen your problem-solving skills. It's going to give you a heightened appreciation for the silence that you have to think your own thoughts and not be motivated or moved by other people's problems or influences. It's definitely going to teach you to manage your time a lot more properly, and it's also going to teach you to be more resourceful from a financial standpoint, and just the materials that you have, what you have in the truck. All of these things are definitely going to be part of the process. One thing is for sure, you grow mentally. You become a tougher person within yourself, And you learn how to handle life's challenges a little different than what you're maybe used to, which could be a great thing for a lot of people because they need that maturity, they need that growth. And on top of it all, you definitely gain a sense of pride because once again, you know that you're doing something to move America forward. All right, truckers, so with that being said, those are just some of the things that would have been nice to know before becoming an over-the-road truck driver. Again, if you're just getting out of school, go over the points of the video. Make sure you marinate on each of those topics and see how what we talked about is relevant in your experience. If you're thinking about starting this journey, be sure to go in with your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? And know that if you can handle the lifestyle of being an over-the-road trucker, it can change your life and the people's life around you for the better. You dig? If you got value out of this video, make sure you hit that like button. Please drop a question or a comment per usual. I always look forward to hearing from y'all. I definitely appreciate you. And subscribe for more trucking game from Prince the Trucker. Remember, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll catch y'all on the next load. You do understand that though, right? Start off the imitated, never duplicated, the one and only Enrique Prince, also known as Prince the Trucker. Gone.